So the Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence has received a 5-year, $275 million contract extension. Um, the contract extension is guaranteed $200 million. It makes him one of the most highest paid rookie quarterbacks right now. I'll start with you, Byron. Have you heard about this news, man?
Yeah, I knew it was coming. Do I think he deserves that much? No. But obviously, if you're Jacksonville, you have to pay him because if not, you have chances of going through a quarterback, carousel, which obviously you don't want for a lot of reasons. But Jacksonville feels like he's their guy. Personally, I kind of have Jacksonville in that second place for the division. I really think it's really going to be the Colts and Texans division moving forward the next couple of years. But, we really haven't seen the consistency from Trevor. Like 1 minute it'll be like 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Then the next couple of weeks it's turnover central. So I think the biggest thing for him is consistency. But I think for Texans fans, it's a win because if he continues to be inconsistent, this is a plus for you because that's one team you can kind of get out the way early.
Yeah.
So would I have paid him that much? No, but I mean, if you're the one that drafted him and took him in, obviously you have to invest because that's your guy.
No, definitely. That's definitely good. James, just to go on your side, man, and it's kind of just follow with Byron. Do you feel like he's worth all that money, or did they give him too much?
I think they gave him too much, but they drafted him so highly that this could be one of those situations where they're trying to double down and say, no, we believe in Trevor Lawrence, that we believe that he's going to be our quarterback for the future. And I think that could be a situation of what's going on. Although I do applaud Jacksonville for at least holding on to their quarterback, even though he hasn't shown quite that much to get a contract like that, because we've seen so many teams moving on from quarterbacks after just a year or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to follow up with you guys, I'm gonna have to say no too. He really kind of just got in the league. And I feel like he hasn't had any rings MVPs yet. He hasn't really shown why he deserved it yet. And we got to think about that game against him and the Titans and him getting hurt and having to sit out. It's like, can he, maintain for the rest of these seasons to come without getting injured and still being effective? But yeah, just I feel like for me, if I was to have any say someone, I'd say like 100, maybe 150, something like that. Because I feel like once a player reaches the 200, it's like, okay, you're one of those guys that you're one of those guys. You showed a lot. You showed why you deserve that much money. But I feel like how they have it now, man, they're just giving everybody money. Anybody that they feel like they desperately need. And we kind of look at his stats, man. Between 2022 and 23, 2022 he had 4,113 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. And this recent season he had 4,016 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. So he threw more interceptions this last season, with a QBR of 56.1. And just to keep us going, man, based off football today, man, specifically quarterback positions, how should they base it whether a player deserves or earn like a contract extension like this? I'll start with you, Jay.
Well, with Mahomes, he won the Super Bowl pretty early, and they gave him that, $500 million max deal and 10 years. But I think you kind of have to hold on to your quarterback because it's not easy to find a starter who is possibly going to take you into the playoffs or even further. So that's one of the biggest things. And plus, the way the game is changing today to protect quarterbacks, you wonder, is this number just going to keep inflating? And it will.
Yeah. Byron, how do you feel about it, man? And I'll follow up with you.
Well, yeah, like James said, like quarterbacks are tricky, because it's like, for example, a lot of people don't think Kirk Cousins deserves the money that he gets because they say he doesn't win the postseason. But you can say that Kirk Cousins on some teams is an upgrade for like Atlanta. or,
Yeah.
what Minnesota had before, with Case Keenum, even though they got to an NFC championship. But, with Kirk, they never got there.
Right.
So, it's just one of those things. Like Mahomes, he got there early. Burrow, I believe he's a guy that deserves that money. Like, because really for Burrow, it's really, if he cleans up the injuries, he's
He's
good.
good.
It's going to be some action in the playoffs and stuff. Lamar's one of them. I know CJ Stroud's been getting a lot of praise, but obviously, like, coming into this year, it's a big one because this is the second year. We haven't seen, like, so
Right.
that's the exciting part, for Texans fans. So for me personally, it is more of a, can you get the wins, and also, like, can you take care of the ball when you need
Yeah.
to? Because, like, for example, with Jacksonville, at one point last season, it was a 99% chance they were making the playoffs.
Right.
The division came down to Indianapolis and Houston, but then Tennessee upsets Jacksonville the next day. Now Texans are hosting a playoff game against Cleveland.
Yeah.
So I just think can you win the big games, and, do you make your teammates on offense better?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I look for, because every quarterback is going to be good at something different than the other, Like one quarterback, like for me, that receives a lot of hate is Dak Prescott. But the only reason why he receives that hate is because he's on the Cowboys. You take him off the Cowboys on any other team, people probably look at him as a Kirk Cousins. Oh, yeah, he needs the money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for me, it will ultimately boil down to, like, can you get the job done, and can you raise your teammates to another level than, other people can't get out of them. So.
Right. Yeah, honestly, and just to add what you're saying, man, I think it should be based off, are you MVP material? I see player at least 2 to 4 years to kind of like prove themselves. Like, are you one of those guys on the quarterback position that can really to get your team to the playoffs, to the championship on a regular basis every year? Can you reduce the interception rate? Just all of those things. And I feel like I said, I'm not knocking Trevor, man. He's a beast, definitely a beast, and he's big size, tough. He can get down on yardage, but he still hasn't shown why he's, you know what I mean? Like you said, Lamar Jackson, he has what, 2 to 3 MVPs. If anything, and we covered him a lot of times, man. It was a hard time for them to even think about giving him an extension. It took a while, but he was somebody who definitely deserved one, kind of when they were giving him out. But yeah, just stuff like that. But with him, I feel like they should have made him work a little bit more. You know what I mean? But then, and just to end us off, man, with this new contract extension, can he? Do you feel like he's going to be motivated, and can he get them to the Super Bowl? Let's just say this upcoming season. What do you think, Byron?
No.
No.
Yeah, can you get to a Super Bowl? Yes, but the AFC South is no longer the division that people make fun of. Long as AR5 and CJ Stroud are healthy, and plus the culture improving their defense. We know what the Texans got this offseason. And then, but if you look further than that, you got Burrow, Lamar, and Mahomes. So, Jacksonville has a nice defense. I'm not going to act like, there's some slouches over there in Jacksonville. But the Super Bowl, man, I think every year, regardless who comes out the AFC, it's going to be a dogfight because, in the AFC, they pass it more. Because of the quarterbacks that they have versus, in the NFC, they run the ball more.
Yeah.
So, if I had to say yes or no, I'm going to go no. Because personally, I have them coming third in the division this year behind either Houston or Indianapolis. I like that's my division crown winner. So, yeah, for Super Bowl, I'm gonna go no. Playoffs, yeah, we can possibly see them in the wild card, But now, granted, they do have a third place schedule, I believe. So they've faced the more linear team. So yeah, I could see a wild card, but Super Bowl, nah.
Okay, James, what do you think?
If they face Houston in the playoffs, then yeah, they don't have a chance. But I mean, we also have to think about teams like the Bills or the Ravens, who they're going to have to get around too. And it's a really hard battle to go against teams that are playoff tested like those are.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. I would definitely agree. Like I said, wild card, maybe even first round, but I think that might be it. Especially with all this new talent they have in the Western side. Yeah, it's gonna be a dogfight for sure. But y'all let us know how y'all feel about that. Before I go to my co-host, I got one more favorite topic.
J&J Sports coming to y'all with more in 2024.